it's like it's like making a road, but I'm making the road actually backwards. Because if anybody finds what I post tomorrow,
Mhm.
that will lead them to what I posted before, to what I posted before, to what
Mhm.
I posted before. And
Mhm.
it's a very strange concept, but I'm building a road backwards. Not forwards, but backwards.
Mhm.
Um, and this is actually for my children.
Mhm.
So that if my children find any one of these pieces, it will take them on a journey backwards in time to videos and
Mhm.
media
Mhm.
and information. So um, it's a very strange thing to do because people think that you build the road going forward,
Definitely. Mhm.
but you build now so that people can find what you did
Mhm.
before,
Mhm.
what you did
Mhm.
yesterday. So it's a little bit similar to if you're a doctor
Mhm.
and somebody is sick or ill, you find what exists
Mhm.
now, but to help the
Mhm.
patient, you have to work
Mhm.
backwards in time
Yeah. Yes.
to
Yes.
understand
Mhm.
how or where it started
Mhm. Mhm. Yes.
and how it how the problem happened
Mhm.
basically.
Mhm.
Yeah, to understand. We live forwards, but we understand backwards. And that's that duality, that two roads or the
Mhm.
opposites is part of that holistic picture of the yin and the yang, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
The
Yeah.
right the yin and the yang. Sometimes you have to push, and
Mhm.
sometimes you have to pull.
Mhm.
Uh, you can't.
Mhm.
It's not just one way. It depends
Mhm.
where you are and what you're doing.
Mhm.
And and it's that simple analogy with a door. If you're on one side of the door, you pull. But if you're on the other side of the door, you push.
Mhm.
Same
Yeah.
door,
Yeah.
but it depends where you stand.
Mhm.
So um, so in life, to understand what will be, or what
It was
may
what
be,
was.
or what might be,
Mhm.
you
They
you,
know.
you
Yeah.
have to
Mhm.
see what worked.
Cost.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Absolutely. And Steve Jobs famously talked about it in a speech where he says you can't possibly know everything that is going to happen.
Mhm.
Some things you can plan,
Mhm.
but there will be some things happening that you have no control over. So yeah, that's why I'm amazed when I think about things like traveling by plane, and I think about all
Mhm.
these planes going into all these different places
Mhm. Yes.
and how it's all organized. Like
Mhm.
like people know in 6 months which plane will be flying to which airport where because they have a plan, they have a schedule,
Yes. Mhm.
and I think that's quite amazing that
Exactly. Yes.
we can
Amazing. Yeah.
actually do it now. A lot of things can change between now and then, but as long as we understand that things can change, then we can change
Mhm.
ourselves to to adapt
Mm-hmm.
to that situation. But and I think especially in the world now, with a lot of people really not sure about the future,
Mm-hmm.
that it's very important to be very comfortable with knowing that tomorrow is important, but not worrying too much if what you want to do doesn't work, right? So it's, tomorrow's important. You want to get things right, but if you have a job interview and
Mm-hmm.
it it goes bad or wrong or negative, or you don't get the job,
Mm-hmm.
it,
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily a bad thing that
Yeah.
that it that it's negative, because especially with jobs, because a lot of jobs are, they tie you to doing a certain thing in a certain place for a certain period of time. Naturally, it's not a bad thing, naturally, but you can go somewhere else and do something else. Why
Mm-hmm.
not? Why not? It's a lot of people. They worry. They get worried too much. I mean, look at history, right? Look at the wars and the famines and the problems and the conflicts and the the disease and a problem after problem. It's and yet we're still here, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and there's a lot of people with a lot of problems right now,
Mm-hmm.
but it I think it helps if we don't worry about the problem, because worry is such a negative mental
Mm-hmm.
state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the anxiety is such a negative mental state
Mm-hmm.
that we we are not going to be able to do anything positive if our focus is wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I agree. Okay.
And and especially with the world the way it is right now,
Mm-hmm.
people are focusing on things they have no control over.
Mm-hmm.
That's really that's really crazy. What can you control? You can control what you eat, what you drink, how much you sleep. you
Mm-hmm.
know, you,
Mm-hmm.
so control that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Try to be healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
get exercise, get fresh air, do all those
Mm-hmm.
things. Do everything you need to do. If you do everything you need to do to stay healthy, then you have the basics. Got the basics covered,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you're trying to, I think people are trying to. I see a lot of people trying to influence policy and control governments and
Mm-hmm.
protest. And I'm 45 and I have never seen a protest that worked, really.
Mm-hmm.
Not 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 locally for me. I've never seen a
Yeah.
protest that worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, maybe it does somewhere. I've met people who said, yes, we got a group of people together and we protest and we change things,
Mm-hmm.
and it worked for them, but I've never seen that
Mm-hmm.
in my life. To I don't see how it helps to tell people that they are wrong, or that you think that they're wrong. I don't see how that helps.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, because I had this I had this conversation with my
Mm-hmm.
mother yesterday,
Yes.
because she had a magazine,
Mm-hmm.
and I looked at the magazine and I was looking at some of the data and statistics in the magazine, and it
Mm-hmm.
was wrong. The data and the statistics were wrong,
Strong. Mm-hmm.
and I know they were wrong because I checked and double checked the information. I'm like, this is not correct. This is not correct. This is not correct. This is
Mm-hmm.
not correct. And my mother's like, well, if it's not correct, you must write a letter to the magazine and tell them it's not correct.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And then my
Yeah.
response was, well,
Why?
no, I'm not going to do that because they know. They know that they're not
Yeah.
correct.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
the people who wrote this,
Mm-hmm.
they
No.
they know when they write it
Yeah.
that it's not correct, or they know that they didn't check it or
Mm-hmm.
verify it to see if it was correct. They know what they're doing. They're not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You don't become a well-known respected writer for an international
Mm-hmm.
magazine
Mm-hmm.
if you're stupid, right? You have some level of skills and abilities and awareness and
Mm-hmm.
to be able to do that. So this idea that write a letter to tell them they're wrong, it's like I don't really think that's going to have a massive effect. Maybe if 5,000 or 10,000 people write letters
Mm-hmm.
but that's after the fact. That's after it is done. That's after it is finished,
Mm-hmm.
after it is published.
So, yes.
You can't go back and unpublish the
Mm-hmm.
magazine. It's done. I I I I don't think that's a constructive and positive use of the energy within people. To to focus on what other people did in the past
Yes.
is not a positive focus of personal energy. A
Mm-hmm.
positive focus of personal energy is to put out some information that might change what people do in the future.
Mm-hmm.
That's a better, more constructive use of energy and time, I think. And this is the positive element of modern media.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's a negative side also. By the time you read the newspaper, the news is old,
Mm-hmm.
right? By the time you read the newspaper, the news is old.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And the writers and the publishers and the editors of the newspaper are already writing the stories for the next day. They're already writing the stories for the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that you are reading is history.
It's, it's so old.
It's history.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want I want to be future minded. I want to my thoughts. The more my thoughts are about tomorrow and the
Mm-hmm.
future and what is next, the more
Mm-hmm.
positive they are.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because
Think about the future.
because yesterday was nice, but
Mm-hmm.
it's done. It's dusted.
Ah,
It's
it's
finished.
finished.
It's gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's gone. You can't you can't you can't put it back into the bottle. Once it's out of the bottle, it's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's the way that it
Bottle
is.
is bottle is empty.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One moment. Do we have? Oh, a visitor. Would you like to come
Mm.
in for a minute, Jazz?